9 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And if everything's working, welcome everybody. I guess I could turn this light on. We have a new light over here. Puppy's looking at. Boom, puppy light. Welcome to our daily gun show. We have our puppy co-host here hanging out with us this morning. We're going to be taking a look at Instagrams. We take a look at Instagram. We bring it over here to YouTube. We take a look at what's focused on our Second Amendment. And we amplify that stuff if we can. And we share and create awareness. Boom. Puppy's going to go to sleep because he could care less about any of this. We are going to open up this screen over here. Let's zoom in. All right. So Instagram used to be way better than it is now, but it's all right. So it's different than YouTube. Over here, we play with videos. Over here, we go live and stream and stuff. Over here, we have puppies. Over there, they don't have puppies. They have some puppies, I guess. But they take pictures and they post the pictures around. They look at each other's pictures. And you've got your photographers over there. You got your videographers over here. You've got your podcasters over here. So it's kind of different people. The idea is to cross the streams to get people aware of each other in different ways. So we do that live. I value the interactive nature of the internet. I've got my puppy co-host here, and he doesn't mind if I go live on Wednesday mornings and do this. I do this for another reason, and that is to kind of do a pre-show or an opening act for the Cape Gunworks Rapid Fire Radio, which will happen after this, quite a while after this, I think. But it's a great show. I really enjoy watching it, listening to it, and being part of it, because you can jump into the comments and be part of that conversation each week. But that radio show is valid and valuable. So I figured if I'm going to do this show anyway, might as well do it on Wednesdays before that show and be able to help point people over to it. All right, so that's sort of the goals of this show. Thanks for joining us. Mike White is joining us from California. Thanks for jumping in. If you're listening to this show as a podcast, which a lot of people do, then you can still be part of the show by commenting, help the show out by clicking the thumb up or the heart or the like or whatever it is on the platform you listen to it on. It does help because very few people do that for their shows. And I'd ask you to do that for our show and any other shows you listen to on podcasts. It really does help a lot. The money is just a number for people who know, they know. Otherwise, it's just a number, just a crazy number. Just a crazy number. We're just throwing a crazy number out there. So we're digging into Instagram. I don't look at my posts. You can look at my posts if you want, but what we're looking at is other people's posts. So one of the things you can do on Instagram is interact with the people that are out there doing stuff. And one of the things I do to interact is to save people's posts into a folder on my Instagram, a saved folders area, and that's what we use to share over here on Wednesdays. So that's what we're digging into, and it looks like on the calendar I need to go back to about the 10th, and I do not remember any of these. Did we hit, I think maybe we hit this one last week, so this says 7 days ago. Let's act like this is a week ago, and we'll start here. So if you're joining us, again, be part of the show. If you're listening to us in the future, leave some comments, be part of the show, through time travel. And I'm going to make sure all my heaters are working. Do I have some kind of a plan for this all? No, don't want to be over here. Look at me. A lot of times when I do this show, I'm underneath of a blanket. All right, so the first one here is from Gun Culture 2.0 over on Instagram from about a week ago. It says, "Gun Curious is not just the title of my book, it is who I am. This is recently confirmed by Grammarly in my communication style reveal. More about being naturally curious and incredibly open-minded on Gun Culture 2.0, the blog." So I guess the Grammarly app that helps you with spelling and stuff can robot grade you on your performance, I guess. So it told him what he was, his communication was like in 2023. Interesting. Gunmetal guy joining us. Welcome. Oops, gotta click these buttons the right way. I just had this space heater blowing at my ankle, so I had to move it. My one ankle's on fire and the rest of my body's freezing. This one is from Firearms Policy Coalition. The $200 tax was quite prohibitive at the time, which was the goal of the NFA. That was a quote. And then it says, which is exactly why it's on borrowed time. We look forward to destroying it and your agency. That's the FPC, that's the Firearms Policy Coalition's response to the ATF office in Los Angeles that had posted last week. The NFA, introduced in 1934, requires NFA firearms to be registered and taxed. The $200 tax was quite prohibitive at the time, which was the goal of the NFA. All taxes collected for NFA go to the general fund of the U.S. Treasury. So those are all true things, but I guess FPC is focused on the part that they suggested it was it was designed to be expensive so that it was prohibitive. I don't know if that's ever been denied is the problem. That's always been the understanding. But then the part where they never increase it with inflation is the part where we don't usually poke at that. So I'm not sure why we're poking at that. Can somebody tell me why this is a thing? I mean, I'm all for getting rid of the NFA, but poking at the $200 part is risky when you got a bunch of greedy people that just see ways of messing with us as a ways to make money. Dong's Guns mention is in here, though, and that's a cool gun shop in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And there's the background check that takes 6 months. Why? The average time for a background check on a firearm is 30 minutes. So it's interesting that Dong's is paying attention to this, and there's 3 replies on that from other people, though. So this one is from Crossroads, the promoters of the big SAR show here every year. They do a bunch of different gun shows throughout the different states in the West here. And this one is a show that's happening in Mesa. I don't know. I guess I just wanted to help promote that show. Did that already happen? The 13th and 14th? I guess that already happened, huh? So hopefully it was a good show. I've been to that one quite a few times back in the day, and it was always a fun show for a collector. It's a small show. Let's see. So then this one is from Rocky Mountain Gun Owners. It says, it's much more important to kill bad bills than to pass good ones. Interesting perspective. Much more important to kill bad bills than to pass the good ones. I like the idea of the government not having any incentive to create new laws. And when we go around calling them lawmakers and our leaders, that's the opposite. Then they act like their job is to make laws. Something like 7,000 laws this session in Massachusetts. I only know that because they're talking about it all the time. It's probably thousands in every state. It's ridiculous. So this one is from Nebraska Firearms Owners, and it says nothing. What's up with this? How come did they remove the comment? I don't know. So it just says Q&A, what, why, when, where, how, and then nothing. No text or nothing. So I don't know what's going on with Nebraska Firearms Owners Association. This one is from NAGA. They're saying San Antonio law enforcement in shambles over the reported 3,146 guns stolen from gun owners in 2023. Okay, so San Antonio law enforcement in shambles over the reported 3,000 guns stolen from gun owners in 2023. So I guess they're saying in a town, I don't know how big San Antonio is, but it's not little. They're saying in a town that big that having 3,000 guns being stolen is a problem, I guess. So, yeah, it's a topic of conversation. Looks like they got some comments on it. I'm also going to complain that they're using this font. Can you even see what it says here? Like, it's so hard to read. Quit using this font. At least those colors. I don't care about the font, I guess. Quit using those colors on backgrounds like that. It's impossible to read. This one is NSSF talking about their bullet points. So they do a great job of putting out a couple of different annual or putting out consistent updates. I guess that's their job. So they do their job. And this one is the bullet points, and it's one they do on Instagram. Sorry, I got distracted because this guy's bolt is back. How often do you sit there with your thumb up underneath an open bolt on an open chamber looking through the sights? Maybe it's some kind of training. Maybe it's just a pose, but whatever. Then it says 2 weeks till SHOT Show. Are you ready for the show? So this was a while ago. California carry law blocked again. Governors and Attorney General forums. So they're doing a governor's forum at SHOT Show this year. And they have 8 or 9 governors showing up. 20% of the governors? Is that what that is? Massey introduced the Second Amendment for every registered voter, the Safer Voter Act, that would reduce the age of 21 to 18 as the minimum age when a person can buy a handgun. So that act was introduced. Always a good thing to see stuff happening that they need to resist, and that if they don't successfully resist it, we win. Those are important. We don't do anywhere near enough of those. We prevent them from attacking us by defending themselves. We're allowed to do that. We should be doing that more often. So I'm going to put in here. Oh, are you kidding me? That's the one that they decided to put and more. So I'm going to have a vote this week for best post that we're going through. And I'm going to put in here this one, or at least the best thing that happened this week. So the 18-year-olds can buy a handgun bill. So that would be the first thing that you can vote on. I have to find 4 more things before I can post the poll, though. So if you come up with something, if you hear something that's worth voting on, say something, and we'll put it in the poll there. It says NSSF welcomes Graham, recently retired ATF Deputy Assistant Director and expert in federal regulatory compliance, to its compliance consultants team. Graham will be available to NSSF members by phone and email for consultation over regulatory compliance matters. I'd rather talk to him about what it's like being an ATF Deputy Assistant Director, and I don't give a shit about the compliance part. I want to hear about that and what do we need to know about how to get rid of the NFA. How about that? What to attract new shooters, manage inventory and volume, build traffic through the slower seasons, and maximize your margins or employees' potential. SHOT University offers a la carte training courses to help retailers and ranges hone their management skills for today's highly competitive and regulated marketplace. Next, oh shit, what happened? What just happened? We got hacked. We've been hacked. What happened? We got hacked. I think my screen went away. All right, well, that's how it happens when you get hacked. So we'll have to open that screen back up again. We're going to blame it on the co-host. Oh no, I'm opening up the wrong thing. Let's open up Instagram. Co-host, if I'd had a good co-host, he'd be over here making sure that kind of stuff didn't happen. And you, the viewing audience and listeners, wouldn't have had to deal with such a situation right now. Oh, look, he's acting like he didn't do it. It's like, oh no, it wasn't me. I'm over here just stretching. He gets pretty tall when he feels like it. See that? He gets pretty tall right there. All right, so we'll scroll back down. Oh, we got a while to go. Look at all this stuff. Look at all this stuff. Where were we? We were at the NSSF one, zipping through their posts. Oh, he's Why don't we just take a minute, since nobody's even saying anything today and nobody cares. We're going to take a minute and we're going to put this thing up here and we're just going to rub this dog's face. We're just going to give this dog a rub on his face like this because it's a little dog. He's just such a little dog, and he's got one of these faces that you just want to do this every once in a while. And then if you do it on his face, he wouldn't feel right if you didn't just give him one of these all the way down his body and into one of his legs and wiggle his little hand a little bit. Now he's happy. Now he's happy. Maybe you just wipe these wrinkles out of the way, move him back over here so that he's on his place. Scoot in there a little bit. All right. Like, what just happened to me? What just happened to me? You got manhandled. That was manhandling. That's called a manhandling. You've just been manhandled. All right, we're back to the news. Flipping through these things. Hey. The year 2023 was the fourth highest on record for background checks for firearms purchases. December's adjusted background checks totaled 1.7 million. NSS adjusted FBI NICS background checks, verifications, and boosted the streak of more than 1 million checks from firearm sales per month to 53 months in a row. NSS members can access historical monthly NICS data by logging in and clicking industry research and then NICS data. Well, maybe someday we'll talk to them about whether or not they're actually good data or if that's just fluffy numbers. And then you can subscribe. But they do offer what they're supposed to do, which is this is the new coffee cup that's coming out. We'll watch that one with sound. This one, all right, let's move on. This one is the new coffee mug that's coming out.
On your knee
and if you want to have a good cup of coffee, you just take it out to the lake like this. It's got a little trigger there. You can pull that safety pin out of there. Pull on that trigger.
A mechanism holds the line thrower firmly until the rocket has touched the water.
How cool is that? So I need one of them. I don't know about the placing it on your knee part. I guess that works, but that seems pretty cool. So there's a rocket in there with all that cord. Let's see. I don't know where that one came from. I just seen that on Instagram one day, and I figured, okay, we're talking about that one because that was so cool. I don't know. If people live around boats, that's probably not a big deal, but I don't live around boats, so there's nothing like that around here. Essentially, it was a rocket that launched a cord or a rope or something like across the lake, I guess, way across like a channel or a bay or something. I don't know, way across the way. So this is Battle Buddy 3 Gun. It says what a year it's been, and all of us Battle Buddy 3 Gun want to thank you. From our sponsors, our shooters, and just people we've met along the way, we hope to see you again this year. We're finalizing our schedules and events to be on the lookout once again. Thank you all. Can't wait to see you all again. So kind of the end of year montage from some of the different channels out there. San Diego Gun Owners does the Gun Owners Radio every Sunday, and they've got a gun show coming up in March. This was an ad for their one in January, but they've got another one coming up in March, which is going to have like movies and seminars and sessions and stuff. Wait, did it already happen? I thought it was coming up in March. This says January 15th. So did it just happen? Or am I crazy? Mike, I don't know. I thought this was coming up in March. Maybe it just happened on the 15th. Oh, snap. Ding, ding, ding. Hey, puppy. Want to get fed? Want to get fed food? Hey, Bit. Want food? You want any food? I don't know if he wants food. He's kind of been on a diet lately. He doesn't like eating food so much. Let's see if he wants to eat this food. Got just a little bit of chicken grizzly today. We'll see if this will, if he'll be interested in eating this. First off, stay back over there. And then, oh, yep. Yep, I guess he was willing to eat that piece of food. But here's what we're going to do. Don't tell him. We're going to chop these into pieces over here because he's getting fat and I'm cheap. So don't show him what's going on over here. So now he's got 1, 2, Another one. 3. What? 4. And a 5th one. That was 5 pieces of business right there, buddy. When he's eating, I like to do this. That way his digestion is easier. He doesn't have to chew so much. Okay, that was a different show. Good. I didn't think I missed the good one. I gotta put these away, otherwise he'll find them. Even though he doesn't have a nose, he's able to sniff them out. Let's move this over to here and put the puppy back in the corner. The big one is in March. Okay, thanks. So definitely cool. They're evolving gun shows. San Diego is obviously hot. Everybody down there is getting into awareness thanks to the efforts of Mike and the rest of the San Diego gun owners group. So this is pictures from that gun show that happened on the 15th, I guess. Kind of neat. All right, next up is Gun Owners America also doing a post about that ATF Los Angeles. So both of them jumping on the same thing, right? And doing it in a little bit different way. Oops, ATF said the quiet part out loud. Little emoji. The $200 tax was quite prohibitive at the time, which was the goal of the NFA. The NFA was never about safety. It was always about restricting Second Amendment rights and limiting access to firearms and accessories. See, that's contradictory because those aren't two polar opposites, because the opposite side says that the reason they're restricting all those things is for safety. So that's not even an argument. That's just saying stuff differently, yelling words. I don't know. So we've got this one, and let's take a quick look at that other one since it was just up here. I don't know. Does one of them have more impact? FPC definitely does theirs all black like this, which is exactly why it's on borrowed time. We look forward to destroying it and your agency. You know what? I like FPC's better. It's first. It was direct. It was on point. There's definitely no compromise, and this one is not saying anything, so I'm definitely liking FPC's better. All right, so this is one of these types of videos. This is being reposted by Diana Mueller. So I think this is a new one, but these videos have been coming out since the 90s. It's for the copyright, so I think it's cool that people are using their socials however they want it, but you're kind of oblivious if you keep copyrighting everybody. We can't use this stuff on some platforms as easily if you keep copyrighting us. There's gun owners that make music. Why don't we start using some gun owners' music that wouldn't be copyrightable? So essentially, this is, I don't know what her name is. This is the lady from Dane Adams. I think that's how you say it. They make holsters for girls. And maybe her name is Anna. And Diana is reposting it. So it's a lady wearing a dress and shirt, and she keeps pulling out guns from different places. I don't understand this, and we're not allowed to say this, I guess, but how come she keeps pulling out magazines from the same place her gun is? So if you grab your gun with your right hand and it's a pistol, it's in your right hand. So you would grab your magazine with what? Your left hand. So it's okay if it's in your midline. If you're doing appendix carry, that's why people put their gun and their magazine together in an appendix carry, because you're both going to your midsection. But when it's on the side of your body, right or left, your magazine is on the other side of your body. If it's next to your gun, you're doing it wrong. That's not going to work. You'd have to take your gun and put it in your other hand and then grab your magazine. I don't know where this is coming from. So, whatever. But if they didn't want to post stuff on the internet, if they didn't want to get mansplained about it. Anyway, those videos have been around forever. I guess it's cool. People still like it, I guess. You never know what people are going to still like and what people didn't like from back in the old days. Because sometimes we get lectured on what we used to like back in the day, and then they do the same things that we did back in the day. Back then it would have been Paxton Quigley taking all of her guns, all of her revolvers out of her different stretchy areas. So this is pretty neat. I guess people don't realize what Chinooks do. So this is a case where I believe this is a Chinook essentially just dropped down in the water so that this SAS group could just jump into it with their Kodiak and book out of there. Pretty neat. Super difficult maneuver, of course, because you could just essentially have the ocean swallow you up. Plus, big whale could come up there and smack into you, or a shark could bite you or something. Really mess with a helicopter when a couple 100 pounds of shark is sitting on there. It's our friend Moonfluid, or Autoloader, as the internet knows him, posting. This is a really good one. I really like this one. He likes dark pictures, and this one with the shoot and see target behind there came up pretty decent. That's what Instagram's all about, after all, is taking pictures. Some people use images to convey their messages, but very few people are still just taking pictures out there. At least the people that I follow anymore. So the weather kept our friend unapologetically armed from getting to where she wanted to go to testify in support of a bill that would allow public carry on public transportation and in churches. It's a continual fight, and it's as they say, the price of liberty is eternal vigilance. This is a fight that she's been in to create awareness that people on public transportation, people in churches, still have a right to not be victims. And you don't need to necessarily do anything except stop forcing that on them. And her efforts have been to, create awareness to the politicians, the representatives, so that they understand when these bad bills come in, why they're bad bills, and then, of course, to attempt to create awareness for the voters and the people that make, the actual efforts here, why these things are important. So she wasn't able to get to the Capitol to be able to testify because of weather. I guess the only good news is, that no one else probably was either, right? She wasn't like she was snowed out. I think everyone was snowed out. This one is from Women for Gun
Politicians
Rights.
And the media is that guns can only be used.
So we'll go back and listen to that whole thing. It's kind of loud.
A common lie that is told by pro-gun control politicians and the media is that guns can only be used as tools of destruction and to take lives. The truth is, there are between 500,000 and 2 million lives saved each year thanks to the Second Amendment. A common lie that is told by pro-gun control politicians and the media is that guns...
I'm going to put this Dane. I'm going to put this in. I'm going to say girl with many CCW guns. That's the second post that people can vote on. I realize that we haven't had another post to vote on here. All right, now I got to go rag on something again. So I'm going to go back to this one.
A common lie that is told by pro-gun control politicians and the media is that guns can only be used as tools of destruction and to take lives.
Okay, now I was hoping that they were going to say, but there's competitive shooting, but there's, collecting, but there's the engineering, but there's the evolution of materials, and but, there's all the physics and science that goes into this stuff, and but the fact that the deterrent factor.
The truth is, there are between 500,000 and 2 million lives saved each year thanks to the Second Amendment.
Ugh, my rights, my property, fear somebody else. Just because somebody brandishes a gun doesn't mean there was a life at risk. It means they brandished it. It means they were scared. So perception. Oh my goodness. These are numbers that we think sound great because we think these are great numbers. The other side hates these numbers. Why do we keep rubbing them in their face? They don't agree with these numbers. They don't like these numbers. Why is Women for Gun Rights talking about these numbers? Come on. Is the awareness for our side? Because you don't teach people to use these dumb numbers that don't work. And if it's for the other side, these numbers don't work. Come on. What are we doing this? There was 8 different ways you could have taken this. That would have been an awesome direction. Very disappointing. It's well produced. They did it in Washington, D.C. Three Gun Beth does great as far as the reading of the script and stuff. But Ugh. It was so disappointing to hear the second half of the "my rights, my property, be scared of somebody." Ugh, makes us look like such coward and weaklings that we think that there's 3 million people about to die, but our guns saved us. That's how the other side sees that. It's weak. We should not be leaning into our weak to what is weak. We can solve this. We can end this. And these are the people that do it. Ugh. Next. Got NRA with one of the look up your people's nostrils, make a funny face things. Do these work? I don't know. What's the message here? Blah, blah, blah. Stripped 18-year-old rights. Were they trying to get to 18-year-olds with this? No. Are they trying to get to old people? Come on. How about you show some people like a military spouse, right? Let's get something accomplished here. This is typical hype band. What's the word? Stooping to the lowest bullshit. This is crap. So it's tough to get on board. I definitely didn't like this one. Just brought it up here. We'll unclick this one. But tough to defend when they're doing dumbass shit like this. So they're super tone deaf. I guess it's what it keeps there. You got to watch this one a couple of times before you figure out what the hell's going on in this thing. But I can rant on the NRA. So, I'm not trying to back the NRA or nothing, but at the same time, they're our aircraft carrier. They're definitely being run by dumbasses. We can either watch it fail comfortably, I guess, without getting paid by Bloomberg, or we can attempt to do something about it and strengthen our own community and our own selves by doing something about it. We don't have to be successful in order to win, right? Some people only see that, people that are lazy or cowards only see easy victories, and that's the only thing they're in effort for. People that are used to getting work done are used to doing things, whether or not there's going to be a successful result. You do things because they need to be done, not because you're going to win. And there's that potential there for the NRA. That being said, are you seeing what's going on in this freaking video? The forbidden hand technique is what Ed called it. I'll just move along. For people that aren't watching, you didn't want to see this one anyway. Let's see. So this one is from FPC and an open carry bill filed on the first day of Florida legislative season. I guess they're saying right on, like, let's get on with it. So the Florida, who doesn't have open carry, which is weird, and it bothers a lot of people in Florida. First day of the year, they have a bill on the floor for legalize open carry in Florida. College university campuses are no longer gun-free zones. It repeals the ability for law enforcement to declare someone simply carrying a firearm as an automatic arrestable offense. I guess that's now the case in Florida. If a person still wants to get a Florida CCW, the state shall pay for the fingerprinting. I don't know if I like that one. Polling places are no longer gun-free zones. Interesting. Adult career centers are no longer gun-free zones. Wow, I had no idea that was a thing. Adults under 21 can legally have a handgun in their vehicle if it's secured, encased in a loaded blah blah blah. So pretty cool. Air guns, welcome. Thanks again for Mike White for the $5. Much appreciated. If you're out there, say something. Otherwise, I won't know you're out there. And then we have knife rights. It's talking about Washington. So sign in today to support Washington's spring blade ban repeal bill. So they're going to try to repeal a ban on switchblades in Washington. It would repeal Washington's ban on automatic knives. SB 5860 is set for a hearing Monday before the Senate committee. So this was 5 days ago. That was probably the 15th. I wonder how that one came out. Does anybody in Washington know how that one came out? Bans, restrictions on switchblades are garbage from the old days and need to be removed, again, just for the exercise of removing them. And then also it's nice to have switchblades, I guess. But they need to go. So this is some kind of an ultralight that somebody strapped. It looks like marijuana on, but I don't know. Because if it was that much cocaine and stuff, that wouldn't fly. So I'm guessing that's marijuana, but that's looks like an old-ass picture. But this is an indication of how futile it can be to try to prevent people from trying to do something that's going to make them money. At least by brute force. Like, you can do things to manipulate the situation that isn't ineffective. So this one, why did I save this one?
We've got a lot of new products, over 20 new products that we'll be launching this year. We can't be more excited.
I guess just to show that NSSF has been posting these profiles, and companies, I guess, were invited to create posts, and then NSSF is sharing them. An interesting way to use the socials to get, allow people to get kind of prepared. Imagine if someone's flying or something, they could sit there and watch a bunch of those and get an idea of, why people are going to be at the show and what they've got new and that kind of stuff. This one is from San Diego gun owners, and it's some kind of Tweety bird eating a worm. And it says, everyone always talks about the early bird, but how about the early worm? How did that work out for him? And then I said something like, it was the last worm to head home that night. Because typically, that early bird is probably hooking up with that last worm of the night, not necessarily the earliest worm of the day. That earliest worm is awake and what's going on. It's a gun shop in Illinois posted this thing with a wick and then a stick, walking around with a stick instead of a gun. It's probably what the kids are playing today, right? Playing John Wick instead of whatever
people,
movies we have.
Of means who are going to travel. And then there's going to be people maybe who are lesser means who might actually be able to use an Oculus or a Magic Leap or some other kind of device to travel to the same place, but from their own couch. But in many ways, it's actually going to create even more distance between those two people. That psychologically, and I think that we've experienced this through social media. In many ways, it's brought people closer in certain ways, but actually created this remarkable divide because it's even more visible, actually, the divide.
That's such crap. People that are doom and gloomers are such idiots. Like, get your head out your ass. You know what? Guess what? There's been books with pictures in them, and some people had to look at a picture in a book, and they couldn't go to the place, and nobody sat around going, other people can go to the place, and I got to look at a picture in a book. So now instead of a picture in a book, it'll be a thing on the computer and you can look around instead of looking at one picture. Shut up. Quit looking for things to bitch about. And I realize that things are getting better constantly all the time. And you've got to seriously look hard to complain about dumbass shit. And they complain about the same dumbass shit every so often. Like, it's not even a big cycle. The anti-gunners have not very many things in their playbook. The doom and gloomers also have very few things in their playbook. They just don't remember, or they get off on, this is just like the last time we were afraid of something. So boring listening to weak people complain about shit. All right, next up is San Diego gun owners. Oh, people doing shit. Amazing. Here's some photos from last night's candidate forum for California's 49th district. It's great to see pro-Second Amendment candidates running for office. Thank you to these people for joining our 10 ring members for having an enlightening evening. So I guess San Diego gun owners brings around politicians that are running for office or in office, running for re-election, to chat with people in their organization that are interested in doing that. And they bring them together. And here you've got, look at this, quite a few people to talk to these representatives. It's not a huge turnout, but considering what it is, it's pretty decent. Let's see. Next up, we got Gun Owners America saying GOA is ready to throw hands and we're preparing for some major fights in 2024. Today on the Minuteman Moment dives into all the expected fights for the new year. Watch for the full episode. It's not a fucking game, but whatever. So somebody else who's walking the walk and has been doing shit constantly is Craig DeLuz. So this is Craig running again for 6th Congressional District in California. And is letting people know he's officially endorsed by the California Rifle and Pistol Association. And He says, as your next congressman, I will fight against government overreach, and that especially includes protecting gun rights. So Craig's definitely been an activist for a long time, creating awareness and in different ways, working for different organizations to get messages out timely and consistently, all the while being on local boards and, also doing his thing. He's like a grandparent. So, living his life and doing his thing. So, running for the 6th Congressional District in California. People complain about California all they want. If we're not willing to help out with people who we know are doing stuff over there, then what the hell? Is this TV or is this real life? Are we working on stuff or are we observing stuff and making comments? So it's pretty neat. Perk of being an airline pilot, I guess. Being able to fly over your own house. Oops, this is probably copyrightable. So you can buy these things. They're for lighting off firecrackers. They're pretty neat. You can put a firecracker in there, and then you got a remote control. That sounds like it, or seems like it would be a lot of fun compared to having to run over with a lighter all the damn time. Plus, you could have some pretty fun pranks with that, I think. So, not even expensive. This is Alan Anchor up here in Arizona.
Doing a little cleaning around the house, and I thought I would show you what it's like to vacuum when you have a Boston Terrier. There's the Boston Terrier. And in case you don't know what it's like to vacuum,
if they're listening, just make this an Amazon video.
Boston Terrier. So I will turn on the vacuum now. Well, you see.
He knows them dogs, so.
And doing a little.
So that's their vacuuming challenge. But little dude knows them dogs. I guess he just didn't feel like it waking up. Let's see, the ban on post offices. There we go. Now we can talk about something. Another one for the poll. The ban on CCW in post offices ends. And I guess I got to spell all that right now. But that was a pretty cool win. I haven't paid much more attention than what I've seen here on Instagram. And this is from Triggerology. But very cool. This is one of the gun clubs, Bass Reeves Gun Club. Says our engagement committee planned a pretty cool group event to check out the movie The Beekeeper. It was an action-packed all the way through. The best part was the event. Okay, the best part of the event was us getting together as a team. We build relationships. We are brothers and sisters in arms that appreciate hanging together, both inside and outside the gun range. Peace. So, amazing. Like, how often do gun groups get together and do something besides go shooting? So there's a bunch of people went and seen the Beekeeper movie. Spoiler alert, it's essentially a John Wick type of movie. Like, the Beekeeper is like the John Wick guy. He's just some guy that everybody knows there's beekeepers somehow. I don't get it. It was a good movie. I just didn't get the whole thing that, like, everybody knew what a beekeeper was. I've never even heard of a beekeeper before. But aside from that, it was just an action movie with what's his name in it. And then you get all the people, well, not all, but a bunch of people that went, were talking, left comments and stuff. I think that's great. Awesome to see more gun clubs doing stuff. So this is Robin sitting behind the rifle of a Ruger something or another. And it says registration is open for a Girl in a Guns sniper school. Ring steel at 2,000 yards. So, kind of cool. I don't know, would you call it a sniper school? I guess you're allowed to call it a sniper school. I would just call it long range accuracy or something. But, yeah, very cool. So, we'll move on to another one from Ed. And I don't know, I'm thinking he photoshopped this. But that's a target that's been around for a while. but it's edited, so I can't tell. I'm pretty sure he's edited it to have his face in there. I don't know if he's edited more of it or not. For some reason, I thought the triangles and squares and stuff were colored on that one. But yeah, that's an old. Those were like from California or something. Those targets. So on Martin Luther King Day, a bunch of people were posting stuff. Of course, this one is talking about his. This one's from Stephen Holbrook, talking about his concealed carry permit. Tony. So copyright in me. So this is Tony doing a post. The boating accident was funny on gun show t-shirts back in the 2000s. It's time to grow up. I'm unflinchingly pro 2A, and I didn't misplace a damn thing. It's a good connotation, right? Good sentiment to have. That whole boating accident thing is weak. So glad to see people posting, without any directly, there's not going to be no boating accidents. Let's see, Alan Anchor, again, our friends up in Arizona here, has quite a few things going on. I believe they still have free shipping on all orders over $35, but it looks like no extra fees on orders of 100 patches or more. It's too late for SHOT Show, of course, but if you're looking to get something going for the rest of the year, that's a significant fee, or that's a significant cost. And what's cool is when you've got a mold, because they have to engrave your mold, and somebody has to do that, and it costs money because the thing is made out of metal or whatever. So whenever they do that, it costs money, and getting that for free is always cool. But then they have the mold, so that means the next time you go to get patches made, you already got the mold. So that's sort of a gift that keeps on giving. That's a pretty decent offer. And then you can get a reduced fee on patch orders of 50 or more. So a lot of places won't even do under 100. I don't like doing under 200 if I can help it, just because of the costs involved and stuff. So doing orders of 50 is an opportunity a lot of places don't even offer, but they work with their factory pretty close, so they can pretty much do what they want, I think. But yeah, check them out if you need patches made. I know Foss is having some made right now. This is Brooks' dogs talking to each other. Well, that woke them up.
Are we done? Are they gone? Where did they go? Are we done? Are they gone? Where did they go?
You don't even know what you're barking at. You don't even know what you're barking at, buddy.
Where did they go? Are we done? Are they gone?
Yeah, all right. You're the worst co-host I've ever had. You're a horrible co-host. You're not supposed to bark at the videos that we're looking at. That's his commentary, I guess. So, anybody who didn't think he was a real dog, he's a real dog. He just doesn't do things good, but he can do stuff. You done? All right. That's how he feels about the NFA also. He doesn't like the NFA either. All right. So that's pretty good. All right. Those were Brooke Cheney's dogs from Suicide Prevention Saturday. If you want to get better at having conversations about guns in general, but with antis who want to take away our rights and our property, they're going to stand on the graves of suicide victims, right? That's what they have to do, because more than 2 out of every 3, or I guess technically right now, more than half of all gun deaths are suicide. And they have to say gun deaths. They can't say murders. Murders are very few. They can't say they can't say other violence. They have to say gun death, because suicides are a majority of what they have to talk about. Every Saturday afternoon, Brooke offers a consistent project to focus on how to have more and more how to have better conversations about that topic and how to get better at talking about it, as well as to our side as well as the other side. Mike White's dog is barking. Right on. Truly interactive internet then. Let's see. So next up is Gun Culture 2.0. Professor Yamane is getting his book out there. He says, when you're the publicist, marketing team, social media coordinator, copywriter, and webmaster for your own book. And then he's got a bunch of stuff all out here. And then Bass Reeves Gun Club, we just seen a minute ago, came in and said, and critic. Right on. So yeah, definitely more like competent and better at this than I am. I've got a couple of books sitting there, but I don't know even what steps to take, let alone what order to do them in. Pets for Vets, one of the projects we watch, is has posted this. It says, congratulations to Madison March, Miss Colorado, who was just crowned Miss America. She is a 22-year-old second lieutenant in the U.S. Air Force. She's the first ever active duty military member to be crowned Miss America. That's pretty cool. I don't even know that was a thing anymore. Back in the day, that was a big deal when it was TV, you know. Stephen Holbrook posted this Thompson submachine gun ad. I think this is an ad from back in the day. It says Thompson in the ad. It says Thompson submachine gun shoots the modern way, accurate fire, fully automatic from the shoulder. A combination machine gun and semi-automatic shoulder rifle in the form of a pistol, weighing 8 1/4 pounds and having only 38 parts. Fires full automatically from the shoulder at the rate of 1,000 shots per minute, or, if desired, a shot for each pull of the trigger. Magazines hold 20, 30, or 100 cartridges. Right for prices, deliveries, etc. So this would have probably been, somewhere around 1915-ish, something like that. And then they got this pretty cool picture of some guy with a, I don't know if this is old or not. This might not be old, but this is somebody with 2 mags tied together. Yeah, I don't know if this is old or not, because I don't know if that's how they tied their mags together back in the day. Just looks like it could be a recreation picture. But anyway, it says, here's a nice 1940s ad for a Thompson submachine gun. And then it says all that stuff. And then it says, photo 2, a U.S. Army soldier armed with a Thompson 45 ACP. So maybe it is an old picture. Jeff Tack's out there. Welcome. Let's see. So then the next one is Georgia. Residents sue the government, restore young adult carry rights. It says, good morning, Georgia. If you or someone you know meets the following criteria, please reach out to our 2A hotline. So evidently, FPC is looking to sue Georgia for the discrimination of youngins with firearms. So if anyone 17 to 19 who resides in those counties and desires to purchase a firearm and is willing to participate in a lawsuit. Lawsuits, when all you've got is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Lawsuits. But we got to have them. Might as well have them, not have them. This is kind of a neat one. It says 2 more weeks left with the American Society of Aviation Artists art exhibition. This is called Dock Patrol by some guy. The collection features 30 plus artists promoting aviation as fine art through January 31st. So I always like to talk about our museum here in town. And I grew up with these kind of planes. I don't know if anybody's ever gone around on what are they called? Pontoon plane or whatever, seaplane. But when I was a little kid, I used to play on these things all the time, and we'd fly around in them once in a while. So pretty fun. I like that. I mean, we never had 4 of them sitting in a lake like this. I think I've seen 2 of them next to each other is the most. But anyway, back in the day, those things would be sitting at a dock, and you could play on them because nobody cared. This is SHOT Show. They're getting ready for SHOT Show. So I dig these pictures. One day next year will be 20 years. One day I'll be able to go into SHOT Show before it's open and take pictures like this. But this would be my thing. This is neat. I'd very, very, very much like to be able to walk around the convention center as it's being created and to kind of help document. I don't want to help them document. I want to document for myself what's been going on or what all happens. Just got to be so cool. And people, our infrastructure, our community reaches, we're adjacent to so many others. Think about how many livelihoods are based on, this chunk of effort. This is not insignificant. This is monumental. We use a lot of time and effort to get to this show. The fact that it's blown off by so many is funny. Start to normalize ignoring people that blow off such a chunk of our industry. So neat. I mean, we live in an amazing time. You got this is SHOT Show, and you got this access to it, and you got Dragon Man, and you got the damn Jabus Museum. Come on. We live in an amazing time. And then there's doom and gloomers who will say that, the end of the Furman Empire, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so Goal, Massachusetts, says gun violence, assault weapon, ghost gun, etc., are political terms invented by anti-civil rights activists to scare people. They mean whatever the person talking about them wants them to mean at the time. It's time we change the conversation and stop using their rhetoric. They're not high-capacity magazines. They're standard capacity. Violence is violence, and ghost guns are, well, ghost guns are bullshit, I guess is what I was trying to say. So don't fall for it. Yeah, man, come on. We already know this. Are you preaching to the choir? More like give us something, an alternative there. Like, I like the beginning of this again, but then they get to the end and they're like, hey, just don't use their words. Like, nah, let's take it to them already. Let's give them some consequences for using these words for so long. They get to rest behind us being polite about it and us being nice about it, that we don't hold them accountable for, if someone wants to be infamous, what do they pick up and where do they go? These aren't Mad Libs. Anyone can pick to answer this sentence, can fill in the blanks. If someone wants to be infamous in the United States in 2024, or really in the world, where are they going to go? To the United States, they're going to pick up what, and they're going to go where? And that's not the fault of the gun. That is the fault of the mechanism that created the situation that everyone on the planet knows what to pick up and where to go and what to do to be famous, infamous on the American news cycles. That needs to be brought up, not let's police our language. But I can understand they're frustrated, and they've got a lot of people they're trying to reach. People that are new to this have to hear this, quit using shooter is a negative thing. We're shooters. They created using shooter as a bad thing because, those don't make good bumper stickers. That's a great point. And like I say, people can't jump into this knowing immediately how to end it. But those of us that have been around the merry-go-round a few times, you get off the fucking merry-go-round and you go on something that's going to get something done. When you're on a merry-go-round and the first couple of times you don't realize it, all right, have fun. That's what it's for. But once you wake up, get off that damn merry-go-round. Let's get some work done. Okay, so attention New Mexico. This one is from the American Suppressor Association. Anti-gun lawmakers, so anti-rights lawmakers in New Mexico are wasting no time in their attempts to erode your Second Amendment rights. That's a waste of time sentence, but whatever. Senator Linda, whatever, has pre-filed the Firearms and Ammunition Tax Act that seeks to impose an 11% excise tax on the sale of firearms suppressors, ammunition, and firearms precursor parts. It will be signed a bill number and convenes on Tuesday the 16th. If enacted, the unconstitutional tax would bring New Mexico in line with California, whose new 11% tax on firearms and ammunition is set to commence on July 1st. Excuse me, I got hiccups. The goal of this type of legislation is not to enhance public safety, but rather to make it more burdensome and expensive for law-abiding citizens to exercise their constitutionally protected Second Amendment rights. So they could reword that and go, same content and say something effective. The goal of this type of legislation is not to enhance public safety, but rather to waste everyone's time and waste money, right? Like, that says the same thing, but it's not constantly beating it over everybody's head about our rights, our property. Like, we effing know our rights, our property. That's why we're here. The other side don't give a shit about our rights, and they hate our property, so that's not an appeal to them. Quit using it. But their money is probably an appeal, and they can hate our rights all day till next Tuesday if they leave them alone. I don't care what they hate. Quit trying to change their mind, right? Just try to make them understand that the way they're going about it is costing everybody money and making a few people rich. So let's end this. Let's stop it. But yeah, whatever. Let's keep. It also keeps the thing going when you keeps you on that merry-go-round when you just only talk about.
Hey guys, we just implemented a new feature on our website because eBay sucks, and now.
All right, I'm not going to waste the whole time listening to that whole one, but essentially, Tactical Outfitters, another patch place out in California, has so many patches that they're going to start doing auctions on their website. But I went over there and they only have like 12 auctions and they're 6 days or something. So that's a long time for an auction on Instagram or on a website. Eddie, if you're listening, do them like 1 day auctions, let people get into it and put way more up there. Maybe it's he's going to SHOT Show. Typically, if you're going to SHOT Show and you see this dude, you want to say hey to this guy at SHOT Show. So if you're listening to this and you take a mental note, if you see this dude at SHOT Show, you want to say hey to him. He brings a special patch to SHOT Show, and the only way you get it is to say hey to him. This is Clover's wife's luggage. I'm hoping is that every piece of luggage they own? I could put everything in these 2 pieces of luggage, I think. That's a lot of luggage. We can't play the music, but this is the Bannerman Island, the Bannerman Castle, what's left of it. That's his house up on top. The castle is over here out of view for whatever reason. And then all the water features where he created a breakwater. And there's the castle, what's left of it. Super awesome. Can't wait to get back there again. So that's where all surplus stores come from. And that's where pretty much collecting of collecting of military stuff comes from. Some people would say there couldn't even have been recreations of battles and stuff if it wasn't for Bannerman. Super awesome dude, super awesome capitalist dude. And I guess that's the end of the show this week. We're going to end with going over to Cape Gunworks. So let's see how far over. I don't think I ran into their show today. I could be wrong. Wow, my internet's slow. Is this working? Maybe it's because I got this video going. Anyway, I can't play the audio, but that's the video of it. Oh, She Fires is out there. I love seeing the behind the scenes before the activity, for sure. And then you get to see like the scale of it, right? Like how big that whole thing is. It's one thing when we're all in there. It's obviously big, but seeing it empty, it's just cavernous. Like it's so huge. All right, so we've got a little while before. It's 2 hours before Cape Gunworks goes live, so no need to worry too much about it. So we did this in an hour today, right on. So I think what we'll do to end this is we'll go back to Brooks Puppies, and we'll go back to this puppy full screen.
Are we done? Or they've gone? Where did they go? Are we done?
Oh, he doesn't care anymore.
Where did they go?
He's over it. Oh well, it was fun the first time. Now he's not interested in barking. All right, well, we're done. So that was the show. Thanks everybody for joining in. Let's see, we've got Friday show to 2 tomorrow. We'll see what's going on. Christian 740, I think, has got a show still tomorrow, doesn't he? And I think that's it. Most everybody else are quitting their shows until after. She Fires doing a show on Sunday. If she's still out there, we might find out. And a couple of people sound like they still want to do their shows from this week, so maybe we'll see some of that happening. Like I say, our goal is to get the stuff up off of Instagram. We talk about it because it's going to be a podcast. There's no way for people listening to this to see what we're looking at. So if I do a good job or not describing the pictures there a little bit, or at least what what the posts show, then we've accomplished it. What that does then is creates a transcript over here on YouTube, and then that transcript can be read by the internet, and hopefully some of the stuff we talked about here will be useful in promoting the things that are of value. So we're not seeing anything from Sheepfire, so I'm not sure if she's going to do her show on Sunday, but otherwise, and I think Brooke does have a show scheduled for Saturday, but I could be wrong on that. We'll have to let you know, or you'll have to find out, I guess, as the week progresses. So with that, we'll wrap this one up. We'll put a commercial up here for our store if anybody wants to support our projects, in addition to our Patreons down here, who we thank very much for allowing us to do what we do here, spend the time on these projects. If you'd like to grab something from our store, though, and get something in return, then we'll throw a quick commercial up here for that, and I'll throw a link in there. See you next time.
GearWebsites.com is your source for firearms-based playing cards and books. We also have mugs, shirts, and posters with designs that we've made live. Of course, we have patches. Every Friday is Free Patch Friday. We appreciate your support. Thank you for shopping at GearWebsites.com.